So far, selection criteria was concerned. We held her to be a single woman. But as she narrated her story of sufferings and inflicted by her own husband, that plunged us in deep shock. I was really stupefied, at my wits' end, at the plight of such a beautiful woman. And to be very honest, I could not come out of the shock, and her suffering held my imagination till I penned down her story of pains in words. Well, sufferings that a human being undergoes, pains that we suffer, we bear. Many a time, pains are invited by ourselves and sometimes inflicted at us by others. Now, the sufferings that the beautiful woman underwent, inflicted at by her own husband, that kept on mounting higher and higher, The first week when she got married, and she was married to a young man working in a multinational company in Dubai. For honeymoon, she was taken to Paris, the city of art and culture, famous in the world. And as she returned home after a week, well, she was introduced with two fat women, the former, or should I say, the two other wives of the gentleman. And this was simply unbelievable by the woman. Meanwhile, she conceived, and you see, with the passage of time, she gave birth to a baby girl. So the husband was not having any pity even for the pregnant wife. He went on inflicting pains, you see, on her. And as early as possible, the woman wanted to leave Dubai. She had to grease the palms of the officials at the embassy and managed to return to Bhopal, where her two brothers, they had become indifferent to the old parents. Now she was in need of a job. And in search of the job, she came here for interview. And I have already told you that she was very fluent in English, and she was very good at English, and her features were also very good, Greek features. And when she narrated the story of her sufferings and pains, that plunged me in deep shock. And for weeks and weeks, should I tell you, until I took my pen and vomited in words her sufferings, her torture, and all that she had to suffer and she had to bear. So this is, you see, an incident or a happening that happens around you. or in the society that you live in, that strikes your mind and you are so moved. And if you are a sensitive human soul, and if you have the gift of a writer, the gift of an author, you express the feelings the way you like, in the form of a poem, or in the form of a short story, or a novel, or a drama. I mean, whichever mode of literature that suits your temperament, that suits you. This is about the genesis of the story, of Parveen. And it had been prescribed for BSc Part 1 students for 8 long years. And now from this session, this has been replaced by now a poem, Allow Sanity a Little Space. Friends, Dr. Heda, he was former head department of chemistry of our college. His son and his daughter-in-law went to England, leaving a small baby, you see, to their care. They came from Pune, and the baby, she was not ready to accept the bottle of milk. And it was just at that time, you see, I happened to go there, and I asked him, हेड़ा साहब बच्ची को मुझे दीजिए, मैं ट्राई करके देखता हूँ. I took the baby and got the bottle, you see, of milk, and to the great dismay of the Heda family, the girl started, you see, drinking milk, and in no time she finished the whole bottle. This was another incident which prompted me to construct a short story. To construct a short story. I wrote this story and I showed it to Heda Sahab, and he liked it. And that Heda Sahab is sitting in front of me right now at the moment I am holding this session for you. So any topic, anything that moves you, you deliberate, you ponder over, you think over. And then, and if you know how to write, and if you are gifted with the art of writing, well, you produce a poem, you produce a short story, right? So this is how, you see, this has been my journey as a writer, if at all you hold me a writer of short stories and poems. I firmly believe that keen observation of what is happening around us is the soul of any creative writing, be it poetry, be it drama, novel, or even a short story. And since, as I have told you, since a writer is very sensitive to happenings around him, he chooses to respond in modes that he deems fit. Story writing is an art which is about the final impression. That is at once impactful in a very powerful way, I mean, it leaves an abiding impression on the minds of the readers. There is a unity of thought, unity of idea. All details that you find in the short story, they are supportive and homogeneous, leading to a telling effect. Fact and fiction. Well, fact and fiction, both, they are dealt with scrupulously to achieve the said effect, which goes to make a story an artistic one. The fiction is woven in the structure in such a way that it appears realistic. And that appeals to your mind through your heart. I believe that no author keeps any theory, before he begins to write. Either a poem or a short story or a novel. No critical treatise, no critical theory, he follows as such, that he has to construct on this and this plan. So this is my firm belief, that no author keeps any theory before him while writing. Right? It emerges from something that strikes the author hard. I would like to narrate one more incident, We planted a guava twig in the open space within the compound. My son watered it every day and pestered me every day with a question as to why it did not grow faster. दूसरे दिन तीसरे दिन ये जो बारीक सा जो गुआवा ट्विग है, जाम का जो प्लांट जो लगाया, वो दूसरे तीसरे दिन बड़ा क्यों नहीं हो जाता, उस पे फल क्यों नहीं आते, उसके ऊपर फूल क्यों नहीं लगते. So my son would keep pestering with this question as to why the plant did not grow fast in a few days' time. Well, his question has been every young child's question. Every child wants to see that the plant turn into a big one bearing flowers and fruits. A young child doesn't have that patience, we know, but a young child does not know, and he doesn't have patience. Besides, he doesn't want to share fruits with anyone. और वो जो पेड़ के ऊपर लगने वाले जो फल हैं, वो किसी से शेयर भी नहीं करना चाहता. It is a different matter. जब फूल आते हैं तो मधुमक्खियां आती हैं, अलग अलग तरह के पक्षी आते हैं, बंदर आते हैं, और अपना अपना शेयर वो लेते हैं. And with the passage of time, the small guava plant turned into a big one, bore flowers and fruits, bees and various other insects. Birds thronged the flowers, monkeys came, danced and jumped on the branches. But the son, who was so impatient, in his childhood, after completing his formal education, found a job in a foreign country. He did not remain to enjoy the fruits. He was so earnest about. I, as his father, missed his absence. And his absence kept on striking hard for years. And one day, this idea turned into a poem, a tragic poem that I conceived, which I would like to share with you. Guava tree. Can't it grow faster? I am fed up at its slow pace, my son complained, dejection and disappointment clearly writ large on his face. Each morn poured he a pail of water around a small guava twig, braving to come up even in hot summer. Why don't you become the next day as big as your father is? Rebuked him one day, pestered with the same silly question every day, and soon tried to console him with its nature, my son, its nature. बच्चे को डांट तो दिया, लेकिन फिर तुरंत रियलाइज हुआ कि बच्चे को डांटना नहीं चाहिए था, तो फिर उसको समझाया, बेटा ये निसर्ग है, ये नेचर है, अपने समय पर ये छोटा सा जो प्लांट दिख रहा है बड़ा पेड़ बनेगा, उसके ऊपर फूल आएंगे, फल आएंगे. It's nature, my son, it's nature. Neither I nor anyone can make it grow faster. Wait for a few years. This small twig will suffer heat and cold and rain and storm and defeat rough weather to become a big one, to present you with sweet smelling blossoms and rich rewards of your labor and faith, which you need to share with others. For birds and beasts will come, and flies and bees too will claim their share. पिता ने समझाया कि जब ये बड़ा हो जाएगा तो इसके ऊपर फूल लगेंगे, इसके ऊपर फल लगेंगे, और फिर पक्षी आएंगे, वो अपना शेयर लेके जाएगा, मधुमक्खियां आएंगी, जानवर आएंगे, बंदर आएंगे, वो अपना शेयर लेके जाएंगे. ऐसा पिता ने बच्चे को समझाया. My son twitched his nose, I found, and he pronounced, no, no, I will share with none. I will shoo the birds away and shoo away the beasts as well, and never allow flies to sit on them, and never the bees steal their sweet fragrance. बच्चे ने तुरंत रिएक्ट किया, नहीं नहीं, मैं किसी को आने नहीं दूंगा, मैं चिड़ियों को भगा दूंगा, पक्षियों को भगा दूंगा, जानवरों को भगा दूंगा, किसी को मैं फूलों के ऊपर, फलों के ऊपर बैठने तक नहीं दूंगा. Years rolled by, flowers and fruits load the tree, birds come, birds and beasts come and dance and jump, but my son is nowhere around. For one evening, while still in his mother's lap, closed his eyes after a short illness. अब क्या धीरे धीरे पेड़, वो पौधा बड़ा पेड़ बन गया, उसके ऊपर फूल लगने लगे, फल लगने लगे, और सभी पेड़ के ऊपर पक्षियां बोलो, पक्षी बोलो, मधुमक्खियां बोलो, बंदर बोलो, ये आते थे, अपना अपना शेयर लेके जाते. लेकिन कहीं भी मेरा बेटा नहीं था. But my son is nowhere around. For one evening, while still in his mother's lap, closed his eyes. एक दिन अपनी माँ के गोद में वो लेटा था, और and very after a short illness, उसने अपनी आंखें मूंद ली, और सदा सदा के लिए वो दुनिया छोड़ के चला गया. Well, but my son is nowhere around. For one evening, while still in his mother's lap, closed his eyes after a short illness. और अब क्या होता, बच्चा तो नहीं रहा दुनिया में. I touch its soft petals as if I caress my son's cheeks. और ये पिता जो है वो फूलों की जो पंखुड़ियां जो है उसको सहलाता है, तो उसको लगता है कि वह अपने बच्चे के गाल को सहला रहा है. I touch its soft petals as if I caress my son's cheeks, and when I see them smile, और जब मैं उन पंखुड़ियों को मुस्कुराते देखता हूं, I look up to the heaven, I feel my son smiles through. और फिर मैं ऊपर आसमान को देखता हूं तो मुझे महसूस होता है कि मेरा बच्चा वहां से मुस्कुरा रहा है. This is a poem, and this is a story, a narrative, you see, in the verse form, in the form of a poem. Okay. So his absence बच्चा नहीं है. हालांकि ये मैंने जो ये फिक्शन है. मेरा बेटा फॉरेन कंट्री में काम कर रहा है, लेकिन आज वो हमारे पास नहीं है. तो इसको हमने एक फिक्टिशियस रूप दिया, that the sun is nowhere around in the world, but it has been presented in a very realistic manner. It happens, it may happen with anyone. So that idea I conceived and chose to express in the poetic form. This is what goes into making a story as well. This is what goes into making a poem, an artistic creation. I don't know there could be any other formula. Details relating to the idea are woven to achieve an organic whole, an impression which strikes the chords of the reader's heart. Okay. Well, dear friends, if you search story writing on Google, you will find a number of ways how a story is written. But instead of telling you what materials are available, you see, on the Google, I thought it better that what has been my experiences, I should share with you, and which I have done. I don't know to what extent you have been convinced. I don't know to what extent you agree, but this has been my experiences. This much from my end. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity to share my experiences, my views on story writing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Today I am very happy and I am very lucky to again I experience your teaching, sir. So I think I am very much lucky. Thank you, sir. You enlighten us with your brief knowledge of the topic. I assure you that the student will certainly benefit from your knowledge. Again, thank you, sir. Due to some unavoidable important work, the chairperson of the event, Dr. Pawar sir, left in between the session. So he is not present here now. Now I request to Madhavi sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Arvindbabu Deshmukh, Mahavidyalaya, Bharsingi, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kate sir. Good afternoon, everyone present here. I am Bharat Madhavi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Physics, and it gives me immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks in today's workshop. But before going to deliver a vote of thanks, I would like to quote one line that storytelling is the most powerful way to put idea into the world today. It is a quote written by the Robert Mikey, a very famous author, storyteller. It means if you want to change the mindset of many, you can just use the storytelling way. That is, the storytelling is the most powerful weapon. So thank you, sir. So I would like to thank to our chairperson of today's workshop, Dr. Pawar, sir, principal of our college. I would like to thank to our today's resource person, Dr. Navin, sir, principal Nabira Mahavidyalaya, Katol, for the wonderful session. I hope, sir, such workshop will again convene with you. Once again, thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank to Dr. Shrikant Thakre, sir, our IQAC coordinator. I would like to thank to Upase, sir, HOD, English department, and Kate, sir. And I would like to thank to all the faculty members, non-teaching staff, and last but not the least, our believe student for attending a workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I declare that the program is over.